2, 3, go.
Thank you very much, guys, for joining Biggie Let's Talk, episode 1, Boss Levels, with this lovely lady up here, Kristen. I hope, well, wherever she is on your screen, she's at the top of my screen, because she's the boss. And today I'm going to be talking to her about boss levels and how she began her journey and where she tends to go on, because she's a public speaker, so she does speak everywhere. Kristen, have you done any international speaking?
International, no. And I am like dying to do that. Now, I have done a lot. I've done a lot of webinars internationally, okay. But live, oh, you know what? I'll tell you, set it up, I'll be there.
Really?
Really?
So have you done like Canada or any other North American country?
Oh yeah. I've done it here. In fact, that's where I'm happiest, is up on a stage live with an audience that I can see and interact with. I love dynamic interactions with people. You know, that's the way to go.
Okay, tell us how you started all this. Whereabouts in the States are you? Without telling us your exact location. Whereabouts in the States are you?
I'm in Southern California.
No wonder it's always hot. No wonder you always got a suntan. And
but it's funny because, see, the thing about California is everybody thinks it's all beaches in Hollywood. And actually where I live in Southern California it's the mountains. It's the San Bernardino Mountains, hence the skis on the wall back there. Hence the reason it looks like I'm in a nice big house in the woods, because I am. It's actually snowing outside right now. And really? yeah, we have snowing, we have skiing, it's so funny. Because sometimes I'll be doing an event and I'll be on the other side of the table and people can see out the window and they're like, is that snow out there? And I'm like, yeah. I thought you were in California. I am.
Wow.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Biggie froze. That's all right. This is edible. We can edit it. Editable. Oh.
Lost it.
There
you
are.
Hello.
You're back. Well, you're back. There we go. Don't mess
so I went away.
That's all right. You can edit these things out. It's easy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you how my day started, right? So I woke up at 4:00 a.m. Come to work because I thought I was on a day shift. And when I got to work, they said, no, you're meant to be at night. So I had to go back home, have something to eat, put myself back to sleep. And it's just been a nightmare. And now all this technical difficulty. Kristen?
Go back. I'm back.
Okay, you're back. Okay, now you're at the bottom. And
okay, all right. We need to stop for a second. We just need to stop because the energy is weird. Well, I mean, if you choose to keep all this in, which I highly suggest you do, for everybody that, needs to know or doesn't need to know, from the get-go, Biggie and I have been having a hell of a time getting this going. He got called into work. So he's at work right now. He's just in a side room. Then Instagram Live wouldn't work. Then Facebook Live wouldn't work for either of us. And now we're on Zoom, which should be flawless, and it's having nothing but issues. Okay, so this is perfect because I want to go into this kind of glitchy situation because it's the perfect setup for what we're talking about, which is, might as well jump right into it, which is the boss mind setup, which is the boss mind frequency. Because as the boss of my reality, I'm done. I'm done with all of this, so no more, and it won't happen anymore. and
you're a big believer in.
I'm sorry.
You're a big believer in frequency, ain't you? You're a big believer in frequency.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Not a believer, a knower.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Okay.
How frequency changes your...
Frequency, a lot of people think frequency means your vibration. Are you super happy? You got to be happy all the time. Yeah, right. And your frequency is just who you are. I tell people all the time, hey, I have a little notification that I have a meeting with Biggie today. Look, it's coming in. I always tell people all the time, manifestation, it's not a thing. It's who you are. Bottom line.
Definitely.
And it's about walking forward in your life. This is your frequency. Are you walking around with a wishy-washy energy of, well, I don't know, I'm kind of hoping, I want this to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. That's a frequency that you are creating, that you're interacting with, and that is creating your reality. Cool. You know, it's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's actually evidence about how amazing you are. So I always say, in business or in life, your frequency is what everything, and there is nothing left out of this word everything, responding to. So whether it's thoughts, memories, the world around you, the house you're living in, the job you have, the boss you're interacting with, your success in your job, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all responding to you in the exact same way that if you had a business, your employees are responding to you subconsciously or consciously. You know, if you're farting around and you're showing up late and you're not getting the stuff done and you're not clear in your directions and everything, that's gonna show. It's gonna show in your business. And one of the things I was so impressed about with Biggie was the minute he booked me, which was like 2 weeks ago, he started immediately. He was advertising it. I've never seen a podcast person who advertises prior to the meeting, always after. And I was so impressed. And number one, I was like, well, this is obvious. This is a duh. Everybody should be doing this. But they're not. And not only was he aggressive with the advertising, he was having fun with it. He was having fun. And I think that's the key. That's the thing. And I had to tell him right off the bat. I was like, that's that boss frequency. So do you have any questions from that? I can keep going.
My head is going. Go, you keep going. My head is going. Don't worry.
So, you know, when I say boss frequency, are you in this frequency of where you're kind of trying to manipulate the universe with high vibrations? Okay, if I vibrate high enough, okay, what I want will come to me. Can you imagine a boss acting that way in their and instead of boss, why don't we take it up a level? Let's say CEO. You are the CEO of your reality. Or are you like the intern of your life?
The apprentice.
Are you in charge or are you not in charge? And if you don't feel like you're in charge, awesome. Now you know. Now you know where the shift has to take place. And the shift is the walking forward. And I've got a little secret for y'all. You're really in charge. You're just in charge of a reality that is playing like you're not. It's like you're playing, it's like you're playing house with your friends. And you're like, okay, I want to play like I'm totally limited and helpless and have no control and I'm batted around by fate. That's what I want to play with. And guess what? So, you know, it's like baseline survival. Is that what you're doing? Baseline is kind of like, well, I lost weight, but I gained it all back. I won all that money, but then I lost it all. Yeah. It's your baseline. Your baseline is your buts. It's your excuses. And so it really behooves you to get to know you very much so. And we'll get into this later.
Definitely.
but it really behooves you to get to know you so that you know what your baseline is. So if I was to say, you're the creator of your reality, and it's like, well, that's nice, but ooh, there's your baseline. And I really encourage my clients to do that with me. I want to know their butts so that we can change them, so that I can show them where in their reality that butt is a lie. So when I say, are you vibrating at boss frequency? I just want to know, is your mindset there? Now, we all fall off. It's okay, but you see it, right? So is it boss frequency, or, it's like being undeniable. It's unshakable. It's unfuckwithable. It really is. And when you like, oh God, that person actually got my goat, that's cool, because you get to have a moment of going, I was worried about that the other day. Oh my God, I'm a master manifester. Look at me. I was worried about somebody getting my goat, and look, I manifested it. Look how amazing I am. That's also the frequency I'm talking about. That's
so, when you do your public speaking, do you go to companies and do it? So would you go to like a big, I don't know, blue chip company? Is that what you call it out there? A multi-international company?
Out here, we have like Toastmasters. We have, I know what you're talking about, but we usually it would be my own booking, or me reaching out, or somebody reaching out to me, vice versa.
So if someone reached out to you, would they say, Kirsten, we want you to come and do training at our workplace?
Oh yeah, I do it in a heartbeat. I love doing that. I love going into big companies and talking with, because I've done this, and it always ends so good. I get so much great feedback. And then like weeks later, the company has completely shifted. You don't want to hire people who are not already in a boss mindset. You don't.
That's right.
Oh my God, no. Yeah, you just, you have standards, right? You got to have standards. And you, with young ladies, you got to teach these girls standards, how people are going to treat you. And if they don't treat you that way, you walk away. We don't sit there and explain things to them. We don't sit there and give them 50 chances. We don't do that. We're not showing the world so much how to treat us. We're showing ourselves. We're showing ourselves how to stand by our standards. Because let's say I'm going to start a diet, and this is how I'm going to eat, and then the next day you argue with yourself and you convince yourself that it's okay this time to break this new rule. Well, number one, you are so letting yourself down in that moment. This is why it's called metaphysical, what I do, not metaphysical. It's all about me, or all about you.
Okay.
To be in a boss mindset, you got to understand it's all about me. And you would say that it's all about me.
Yeah.
Not Kristen. It's all about you. But your standards, you've really got to, in love, in health, in whatever, you really have to write down what your standards are. And they're going to come. They're going to change around, but you look at people who you hold in esteem, and you kind of mimic the way they behave and the way they don't tolerate lateness. They don't tolerate people showing up looking like they just crawled out of the gutter. They don't, you got to find your own. Those were just some I threw out, and you don't have to take those, but you have to find your own, and then you stand by you. And that is the vital part. Because like I said a minute ago, if you don't, you're letting you down, and it gets to where you have a hard time trusting your word. And that bleeds out into your reality. You start attracting people you can't trust, and they'll show you. Because the world is always a reflection of you.
Then the negativity goes on to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And if that happens, that's okay, because you get like, oh, look at me, I'm manifesting like a mofo. It's not, no part of your reality is a you screwed up. They're never, 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 never. That's the first baseline we get rid of. And it's when you start going, oh, I did that. You really start seeing not that you screwed up, but wow, I'm really powerful.
The learning curve.
Yeah. Okay. So this morning I'm driving to the gym, and I'm like, hey Siri, is it supposed to rain today? Because today was supposed to rain, and I wanted it to snow. And Siri says, no, sorry, no rain in the forecast. And I said, no, I'm not available for that. It's gonna snow. I get in the gym, and one of the girls walks in, she goes, it's snowing. And I'm like, I know. And that's, but what if it didn't snow? Does that mean I did it wrong? No, that just means I had a bigger frequency of it's probably not gonna snow. But my frequency was it's gonna snow.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you a spiritual person?
Spiritual. That's a big question, loaded question. Spiritual as far as religious Christianity, that kind of thing. No, I used to be when I was little. And spiritual as far as believing in
A being or someone or something.
I used to. Now I know I'm God. And if you want proof of that, I can show you, which is a blast. I don't like saying things I can't prove, because I'm all about proof. I'm like that, that's fun, but where's the proof? I don't want to see a fuzzy picture of Bigfoot. I want
basically,
yeah.
You want
now, there was a time where all I needed to hear was somebody say, oh my God, I was camping and this happened, and me going, oh, it's probably Bigfoot. Oh yeah, I played in that sandbox. Yeah. But I don't play there anymore because I don't need to. And that's the thing. I do want to highlight this point. For those of you out there that do very much believe in a God, a source, all that is, unicorns, spirit guides, that you're a star seed, any of that stuff. You're believing in that because there's a need. There's a need. And that's wonderful. Embrace it, love it, have fun, and be prepared. It's going to go. It's going to go. We don't, as the beings that we are here on this reality, we don't stop. The sun doesn't stop going through the sky. The clouds don't stop. The stars don't stop. Nothing stops. And neither do you. You're not gonna get into this belief and stop there and hold that forever and ever. There's going to come a time, just like with Santa Claus. There was a time you fully 100% believed, and then you didn't, and then you moved on, right? And religion and all these beliefs that come in and interact with you, it will go. Just to show you that there's the one thing in your reality that doesn't go, and that's you. True. And we can go there if you want.
Go for it. So
I told you weren't going to get anywhere near those questions.
I know. I've looked at them once, and I just so what do you do if somebody hasn't got that correct mindset?
Okay. What'd you say?
What do you do if somebody hasn't got the correct mindset?
Tuck them back into bed and say, awesome.
That frequency is not right. That frequency is not right, or their mindset is not correct. What do you do then? How do you do with that?
It doesn't do me any good to try and force it. Never. It doesn't work. So what I do, the most important thing for me is to, number one, I've never had anybody where I've had to force it. But number two, I see them as getting it. I see them as going, oh, wow, because if I'm the God of my reality, hello. So let me show this to you. Okay, so think of everything in your life, everything. Your daughters, your wife, your job, the people around you, the news, all these things that we think are permanent. They come in, interact with you, and then they go. And they might go because they went to school. They might go because they went outside to play or whatever. These things come in, they interact with you, and they go. When they go, they're gone from your reality. They are gone. You can keep it going, but they're gone because you can't see them, you can't hear them, you can't feel them. They're not there.
Yeah.
There is one thing in your reality, however, that never, ever, 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 ever has gone, and it can't go. And that's you. Do you have any memory of not existing?
No.
No. Not something that somebody told you. This is what I tell people. I'm like, this isn't about reincarnation. This isn't about past life experiences, because somebody had to tell you about those things, right? Yeah. If you're just strip away all those stories, all that, do you have any, memory of not existing? No, we have no memory. And it's not this invisible soul. It's not some consciousness aspect of you that hasn't existed. This right here, you have no memory of that right there not existing. But everything else does. Everything, including your beliefs in a God or a this or a that. They all come in, interact with you, and they go. Because how many times a day do you think about God or whatever it is you believe in? It's not all day, but all day long you're here. All night long you're here. Never, ever, ever can you get away from here. And I do have people that are like, oh, well, I can go into a meditation and I can find my consciousness self. And then this body, this ego, whatever we want to call it, is gone. And I'm like, really? So when you're in that state where you just see your consciousness, what part of you is saying, oh, I see my consciousness? This right here.
Exactly.
It always comes back. And so this is how I know I have the God of my reality, because I'm the only thing that doesn't go. Yeah. And the more you play here, the more you interact with this part of you, the more you get it.
Okay. That's good.
There's your boss.
Yeah. So if somebody doesn't want to be a boss, then what? Then you just let them be their own self.
Yeah. This isn't about, who wants to be the boss of McDonald's? I mean, come on. What you have to do is in that moment, ask yourself, what is it you're considering a boss to be? Because if you don't want to be a boss, then chances are the bosses you've interacted with are not a lot of fun. And that's where you're shifting this. See, the last boss I had was a blast. She was amazing. She was so smart. She was unbelievable. Human being herself, but as a boss, amazing. Now, this isn't about whatever you're thinking a boss has to be. Works hard, first one at work, last. This isn't about work. This is nothing to do with work. This is about having this magnetic certainty that because you're in that level of confidence and surety, it's magnetic. It's pulling everything to you. You're either scrambling and hoping this and that's going to happen, and there's going to come a time you're going to get real tired of being that person, or you're going to get like, I'm done. I'm ready to be in charge of my reality. I am ready to understand what that's about, because it's a kick. It's a lot of fun. You get to make it snow.
Definitely. That's true. Just like you did at the gym as well.
What'd you say?
I said you made it snow at the gym.
I did.
Okay, I had a question here.
It's not the first time.
You said that fear has something, isn't something to overcome, it's something to own. Tell us a bit more about that.
So what you said,
the fear.
Yeah, fear is
something, it's something to overcome. It's something to own.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
Okay. Fear, big one. There we go. So here we go again with that baseline. You know, it's like, oh, I've been meditating every day. I've been spinning clockwise under the full moon, naked, screaming at the top of my lungs, and nothing's working. I still get scared about money. I still get this. I still get that. So here we go again with, remember in the beginning when I said manifestation is not a thing, who you are. Fear is not a thing. It's who you're playing with. It's a frequency. And it just, one of the greatest things that moved me off of fear was understanding that death is not real. And that's a whole nother podcast. But, you know, I've had 3 near-death experiences. And no, there was no white light. And no, I didn't see this or that. But what I did learn was that, oh, I don't stop existing. I don't. Because I didn't stop existing. I drove off a cliff, and the next thing I knew, I was down the road, parked on the side of the road. And I'm like, what the hell happened?
Wow, 3 death experiences, not even 1.
3. Now, you want to get technical about that, you die all the time. You die all day, every day, all the time. Every time you walk from one room to another, that's the death of the person that was behind you. You know? In fact, this version of you that's right here, right now, talking to me has never existed before. This one right here, right now. You've never had these thoughts, these ideas. You've never interacted with me before. And in the next breath, you're going to have another new version of you. That's how often you die. But so fear, I'm thinking back to when I used to have fear, and I'm trying to find her and I can't find her. Fear, it's just, it's a frequency. And the more you try to cut that frequency out, the bigger it gets. You just gotta be willing to go, oh, I was scared. Oh my God, I can remember when I thought I was worried I was going to be scared about this thing. And there it is. I'm a master manifester. And then through that, through seeing it and going, oh, look what I did. It doesn't have anything to take hold in anymore. And it just doesn't come to play with you. I mean, it's not like, God, last night I had something in the walls, squirrel, something in the walls. And when it first woke me up, yeah, my heart, you know, there was a dump of adrenaline. I was like, what the fuck was that? And then it was like, oh God, it's a squirrel. Okay, I'm going back to sleep. But fear, a lot of times we separate ourselves from it. It's like, oh, but no, just like everything is a part of you, fear is too. And we have this whole thing about, you got to vibrate high. You can't be down here in depression or anger or fear or whatever. And what has that done to us when we do find ourselves in fear? We think, oh, I'm broken. I'm screwed up.
Yeah.
I didn't vibrate right. I'm less than. I mean, it's done nothing for us to play in that realm. You know, it's
so when
another.
When you were on your downside, when you had your death experiences, how did you pick yourself up?
I just went.
Especially the first time it happened.
The first time it happened, I was really little. And I really didn't have, I was with my father and mother. So they were the ones that, you know, were telling me how to behave. The second time I was surfing, and this one, to talk about it, I get shaky. Because this one, I was out in waves I had no business being out in. I was a new surfer, and I was just like, all these big waves were coming, and I thought if I could get to the outside of them, I could take a break and catch my breath and then get in. It wasn't like you could ride one of these waves in. They were enormous. And I kept paddling out, and I kept paddling out, and the waves just kept coming. And the bigger the wave, the deeper the water. And I ended up just getting so exhausted that, because a lot of times if a wave's about to crash on you, you can turn upside down and get under your board.
Yeah.
And then the wave hits the board. And yeah, you still get, splattered around, but at least you don't get hit by that water. And it got to where I couldn't do that anymore. And here comes this giant wave, and I'm done. I can't even take a breath. I didn't even have the energy to go, oh, I couldn't even do that. And so I kind of like pushed my board away from me so it wouldn't hit me. And all I could just do was that. And this wave hit me, knocked me down. I felt my leash snap, the leash that holds onto the board. My leash snapped. And in that moment, I was like, I'm done. I'm dead. I can't swim up to get air. I'm just done. I just knew I was just done. And in that moment, I was like, wait a minute, my 8-year-old son is on the beach waiting for me. I can't go anywhere. And with that, I popped up, and there was a surfer. Now, there was nobody around when I was out before. There was nobody around me. I would have screamed for help if somebody had been around me. Nobody was around me. When I came up, there was a surfer right there. And he's like, do you need some help? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, grab my leash, I'll paddle you in. And he's like, here comes this another big wave. And I'm like, I can't, I don't have strength. And he's like wrapping the leash, and he's, he drags me in, and I get in. And all I could think about was that moment where I was like, I was dead. I know I was dead. And yet, and I kind of blew it off. I was like, oh, well, whatever happened. I don't know. And then when I had the one where I drove off the cliff, and it wasn't an hallucination. I mean, I literally, oh shit, here I go. And then it was like, I was about 300 yards down the road, parked on the side of the road. And I'm looking back at where I went over the cliff, and I was just like, okay, I'm done with this. I need to know what's going on. And that's when I had you can call it original thought, the aha, the epiphany, that's death. That's death. That's all. That's what death is.
When you went over the cliff, how big was the gap?
I don't know.
So was it like a
I have no idea.
A valley?
Yeah, I have no idea. It's like asking, it's like, I don't know. It's like asking, what's the big, have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and you're like, is it 5 hours since I went to sleep, or is it 5 minutes? Yeah, it's like that. I don't know. I wasn't looking at the clock or anything when it all happened.
You never been back to the scene and thought, whoa, I'll survive.
Oh, that. Yeah, I have to drive past that spot multiple times all the time. And it's just like, la, 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 la. No, it really was an amazing, because through that understanding, all the other understandings about death. See, the thing is this, we are such an amazing creator of our reality that whatever state of being, state of mind we're in, we will immediately create memories to support that state. So if I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm playing in the state of grandma, now I have all these memories of my grandson being born and him coming and hanging out with me and we going to the zoo. I've got all these memories to support the state of grandma. So if you're believing that there's such a thing as death, you will create all sorts of memories to confirm, including I ran over a squirrel last night. Or I remember being there with my mother when she died. Now, the thing is, these are memories. These are memories. Memories there's no substance to them, right? And how many times have you had a memory where somebody else goes, that's not how it happened. It happened like this. And suddenly you going, oh, you're right. And now what was a concrete memory just shifted. We do.
Shifted,
Yeah, we do that all the time. So when everybody's like, yeah, but I have a memory of this and that. And I'm like, that's great. You're manifesting it right now. That's how much of a master manifester you are. You don't have to try to manifest. You do it all the time.
Damn. That's good. Okay, so where do you go from now?
I don't know. We'll see.
What's the future hold for this boss lady?
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what it is. I have such an amazing, fulfilling life. This house I live in, I used to walk by this house and I was like, I want to live there. It's the most beautiful place in this little mountain community I'm in. I'm like, I want to live there. I love that place. And I didn't do anything. I wasn't trying to, I didn't have a picture of this house up on my vision board or whatever they call them. I didn't do anything. I just was like oh, wow, that place is so great. Every time I walk by, and now I live here, and I've lived here for 7 years. And the funny thing is, when I did move in here, I was like, oh my God, I wanted this. And now I live here. Then I'm like, oh, am I manifesting that memory right now to support the state? And it's, where I go from here, international stage. Let's do that.
That's what you need to do. 100%.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I have friends in India, and I'm like, you guys want me over there? You let me know. I will beg, borrow, and steal. I'll get my ass over there. I'll do it.
Which part of India is it in?
She lives in Bangalore.
Okay, which is kind of like south, yeah?
Yeah. I don't think she had anything with the recent earthquake, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
that'd be great. I reckon if you can crack it abroad, even in India, I reckon you smash it completely.
It's and it's, again, so we're talking about going back to boss mindset. You can't be in a space of, I want to do this. You're kind of, you're walking as if that's just you. That's just you. I walk around as boss. That's when I'm outside raking. I'm raking as boss. It's just the boss of my reality, the owner of my reality, the CEO of my reality. This is what you're walking around as. And if you're trying desperately to trying to convince yourself, but there's that part in the back that's going, yeah, but remember this and remember this and that. It's arguing with you. That's just don't worry about that. Just relax. You're trying too hard. It's like, what did you do to make the sun come up this morning? Nothing. You didn't think about it. You probably didn't even consider that you did this until right now. You did. You didn't have to worry about that. Okay. I mean, honestly, I tell people this all the time. Stop thinking of God and start thinking as God. How would God approach the situation? How would God think in this moment? Do that.
Yeah. Become a winner straight away.
Right on.
100%. Okay, so we're coming up to, what's the time now? It's 9 minutes past 3. What's the time on your end?
It is 1 o'clock here.
Okay, how long have we been going for?
I have no idea.
Have you been got a timer?
I don't have a timer in front of me. It just says it's recording, so I don't know.
It's been going for about 40 minutes, hasn't it?
I've been talking. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to cut it here. Okay. We will do a part 2, definitely. And hopefully by then Instagram Live would work. If not, we'll just do it on here again. I'm happy doing it on here.
Yeah. This won't take 5 minutes for me to send it off to you, and then you can edit it all you want. You can use Wondershare or something like that. It's easy to do. You don't have to edit it.
That's good. Okay, then I just want to thank you for your input. You've been absolutely fantastic. And keep in contact. And when you do come to the UK, give me a shout. And when you do go, let me know as well, because even though it's a completely different end of the India that I'm from, but keep me updated. Feel free to copy me, tag me into anything you want, and I'll share it for you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And same to you. I'm going to keep on top of everything you're doing.
Keep it, boss.
All
and
right,
keep it
baby.
boss.
Mwah.
Okay, you take care. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.